It's the news theme.
Oh, we got a theme song now.
Yeah, man, I'm making it up.
He's making up his. Hey everyone, welcome to the BoLS Tabletop Hour. I'm Adam Harry with
JR.
We're obviously from BoLS. Wow. So
Woo.
It's Monday.
We're alive.
We lived.
Maybe.
Yeah, we just got back from Gen Con 2018.
Yeah.
High five, JR.
High five.
We lived.
High five you out there.
Yeah, it was nuts.
It was
Can we just say
crazy.
that?
It was a huge con.
It was like 1.5 million people. I don't know.
Every booth that we stopped by was always packed. There's just a ton of stuff going on. A lot of cool announcements. A lot of fun games. Board, miniatures, role-playing games, cards. If it goes on a tabletop, it was at Gen Con.
Yeah, I mean, they call it the best 4 days of gaming, and it's hard to argue against that. We were not even talking about the game hall.
Yeah.
That was just
like,
all
that
of
was literal thousands of people playing like whatever. I mean, we saw gaming clubs that were there, the Cincinnati area gamers.
Yeah, they had an amazing display. They had the Imperial starship, a cruiser. Like life size, not life size, but like
a
1/6 scale.
Big, a massive replica of an Imperial cruiser.
Yeah.
That they used to like store their minis in,
and inside they had Space Hulk set up inside, so it was a 2-part thing, and it came apart. And inside was the game tables
were running
for Space Hulk.
But they were also running like big, and we're talking big games of 40K.
A couple of Titans around. There's a Warlord Titan on one table.
Like the for real Warlord Titan.
Yeah. Small child sized.
Yeah, bigger than toddler-sized Cthulhu, which was
also there.
Bigger
than the 24-inch Super Star Destroyer that I got to see up close and personal. Seriously, it was the size of my arm.
Yeah, bigger and better. It was the theme, I guess. I'm taking away from this year's Gen Con.
Yeah, it was nuts. I guess. I mean, if you guys have any questions about Gen Con or specific products, if you want to drop those in chat, we'll try to get to those too.
We'll be happy to get to them.
We're just going to kind of run through our lineup of things we saw, kind of, I think, in timeline order, just to help us keep focused. Because if we just go, it's going to be all sporadic. Because there was so much cool stuff there.
Yeah, there was.
It's like a blur. And keep in mind, we walked 20 plus miles in the 3 days we were there, doing interviews, walking the floor, trying to grab demos, talking with people, meeting fans, which was cool. Hi out there, guys. And it was nuts.
It was nuts. And you'll have a chance to see what we saw because we took a lot of video.
We did.
We talked to some really cool people. And you'll be seeing that later this...
Probably this week and probably through next week and beyond, because we have a lot of really cool interviews coming your way on our YouTube page, which we'll have up. And, of course, you can always visit us at bellostsouls.net and read all of our write-ups for all the cool stuff that we saw, because there was so much stuff. Oh, okay, starting off,
all right.
we got in Thursday, but we didn't do any filming. We had to get the lay of the land, so we did some scouting,
and we
fought some lines, get our badges. That was intense.
If you heard stories of the Gen Con will call pickup badge line going out of the door, they were true.
Who was worse, airport security or the Gen Con badge?
Gen Con badge.
Yeah, hard to argue. Yeah, it was rough. Anyway, we'll fast forward to Friday, because Thursday was basically getting in, getting settled, checking out the stuff, the show, getting a lay of the land. I've been how many Gen Cons?
This is my second one.
I think this is my 5th.
Oh, look at you, all jaded, a jaded husk, drained of any kind of enthusiasm or excitement. Yeah. As you guys can tell, he's not even a little bit excited by the stuff we saw. But speaking of the stuff we saw, one of the first things is also one of the biggest things that we saw, which is Privateer Press's new Monster Apocalypse.
So good, guys. Monsterpocalypse gonna be big. Privateer Press announced Monster Apocalypse a couple months back. The reason this game, I think, is going to be huge is, if you remember the first editions of Monpoc, it was a collectible kind of miniatures game. Everything came pre-painted, a little bit smaller scale. And it's fun, though. It's giant monsters fighting giant robots.
Yeah,
Smash a face, throwing each other through buildings. It's a good time. What they've done is they've taken their kind of tight rules writing. They've rewritten the game. And they have produced starter sets for the different factions now, and I'll get to that in a sec. But now it's not pre-painted minis anymore, so the hobbyists out there can get
you can really dive into them. They have
a lot of detail to them as well.
Absolutely.
So when you're painting them, even if you just do some basic block painting with a wash or two, it's going to pop.
Look amazing.
It's going to look amazing. So on the tabletop, this game is super appealing.
They have, for now, with their starter sets, they're releasing cardboard.
Yeah, cardboard cities.
Thick paper cities, but
resin's coming.
Resin is coming. They said like in October, right?
Yeah, they have plans for long-term support too. So like organized play, when you win, you can get special tokens and cards and buildings.
Yeah, special buildings that you can use in the games.
No, the buildings. By the way, the buildings will be count as this building, but it'll be a different version. So like one of their things is like a headquarters building or something like that. There's the UN headquarters, which eventually the buildings will have rules.
Yeah.
But if you go to their tournaments and win, you could end up potentially winning the Privateer Press headquarters
to use in your game as your UN headquarters,
which is cool.
It's kind of a cool thing. If I don't know if you guys played the game before or not, but a lot of it's been updated. It's all about managing your resources.
The dice pools are kind of your resources, and those are going to be moving around. You can't ignore your units, but you can't just flood the board with your units either. You still have to use your monsters correctly.
Yeah, you want to,
super well done.
You can throw them around, throw other enemies around. It's called Monster Apocalypse.
Yeah,
people
body slam them, throw them. You can do combos. A typical game is going to probably run 2 monsters and up to 20, 25 units, I think. I forget the exact number. But it's super cool.
And that's 2 monsters per side.
2 monsters per side.
Not like 2 monsters total.
Yeah.
Like 2 big guys. And one of the cool things that I did not know about the game is that basically there are a lot of different factions.
Yes.
But there are 2 different sides.
There's basically the defenders and the attackers.
Yeah.
Or good guys and bad guys.
Yeah, good guys and bad guys. But you can mix and match freely within those broad categories.
Right.
So like you could run, for instance, one of the giant cyber ninja guys from the Shadow Syndicate,
and like
the guard Defender X7 or whatever. Yeah. And you could have your units be pulled from the giant dinosaur faction, the Terracons or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly cool.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know you could do that.
The way they've done the list building in that game is very streamlined and very loose. You don't spend points. You bring your 2 monsters. All the monsters are unique and different. And there's no set paint scheme, by the way. You can paint them whatever you want. Have fun with it. You bring your 2 monsters. You bring your units. It's a mix and match. Within your faction.
You get a set number of units per. Yeah. It's all based on the number of monsters you're running.
I like that though because it changes it up. Like if you have, say you buy a starter box and you've only got your 10 units or whatever,
right?
But you want to swap out your monsters. Now you can do that.
Now you can absolutely. You can.
It's really well done. Again, we got the demo. That video is coming. They have lots of stuff on their website. Go check them out too.
They also showed off their new Crucible Guard stuff, which is cool. These
a lot of cool stuff.
Laole's alchemists on the run from
look pretty.
Kador or Kador.
Yeah. They look real good.
They do.
Real good.
They do. And then other than that,
they had people doing demos there all weekend. They were selling stuff in the shop.
They were playing their caster draft casual competitive format.
They were running a ton of events too. Yeah. So
Privateer Press was great.
We ran into Green Ronin, which was doing some RPG goodies.
They have their big thing right now is the Expanse RPG, which is still on Kickstarter. They've got like another 2.5, maybe 3, 2.5 weeks left.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't checked them out, they're the cool sci-fi setting done by James S.A. Corey.
Yeah.
He's 2 authors that worked with George R.R. Martin on some of his stuff. They have a TV show. They have a series of novels. Fun fact, the whole campaign or the whole setting was initially written as part of the an RPG campaign that never went anywhere. But now
it's an RPG
here
campaign.
It is. So like it's real gritty sci-fi. And we talked about it.
Would
here
you say
last
it's hard
week.
Sci-fi or is it more?
It's hard sci-fi.
Yeah,
like, it
exactly.
It's not like the most hard sci-fi because
there's some hand waving going on.
I'm sure the market for people out there that want to like go and repair their oxygen scrubbers with toothbrush parts is there. I mean, and some of that stuff's in there. Like you do have to breathe and you do have to maintain your ship. I think that's one of the plot points in the book, and they translated all of that. But it's not so hard that you can't have any fun.
And it's not inaccessible, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
From that. Then we that next Friday we wandered around and talked with a bunch of other folks. We also went over to the Dust 1947 booth.
Yeah.
Got the rundown from those guys.
So Dust 1947 is a weird World War II. Yep.
It's been out for a while. They've got some new stuff coming though. Mm-hmm. The big push for them, I think, in December is the Japanese. I didn't want to say this while we were there, but I was like, maybe December is not the best for launch for Japan. I didn't make that joke though when I was there. But
you did now.
I did now. Boy, so he's walking away. That's a World War II joke. Anyway, it's Weird World War II, and it's a miniatures, tabletop miniatures combat game. You can play with dice, tape measure, or you can use the grid system. But the cool thing about the Japanese faction coming is they have like a giant robot with like a railgun. We have pictures of that on our website, but they also have another version coming, and it's going to have 2 swords. And the other crazy part about it is you can just pop the swords off and put the gun arm in there. It's, I believe they were saying their stuff comes pre-assembled, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you buy something from Dust 1947, you just take it out of the box and it's ready to play.
Yeah, it comes pre-primered, or you can pay extra and buy the special
like premium,
studio level paint. And these they don't skimp. Like these are really well done paint jobs.
And they're gorgeous minis too.
Yeah.
So if you like World War II, especially if you like weird World War II, like this is a very fantastic game to check out.
Yeah.
I was not too familiar with it before we sat down with it.
Yeah. I've dabbled in it a bit. It's neat. It's different. But yeah, they have some fantastic models if you're looking to scratch that weird World War II itch.
Speaking of fantastic models and big models, continuing the theme.
Yes.
We had a chance to see some folks that would make the mountain go. All right, this guy's not puny.
Yeah. Which ones were you talking about?
I was talking about Simon. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I was talking about the song of
Ice and Fire. I figured that's where you're going. Yeah, because they had two sets coming out soon, and then they had more stuff that they were teasing, work in progress stuff. They have the Night's Watch coming.
Yep.
And they have the Wildlings coming. And the Night's Watch is got your favorite guys. It's got Jon Snow, Sir Mormont, all those fancy guys. They've got a ton of new units coming into the game. The Wildlings, they had Mance Raider and all those guys. Mm-hmm. Man, it was crazy. The big thing that was like kind of low key announcement there was they had a bunch of siege weapons.
Yeah.
So that was super cool.
That's super cool. It's super exciting.
Yeah, and we had pics of those. Again, check our website. We got more of that stuff.
That's one of the most like subtle ways.
There wasn't even like a thing that said like
siege weapons coming soon. No, they were just there
in a case, quiet, no label, work in progress. I think.
What's up with these guys? And they're like, oh, you noticed, huh?
Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. And then I thought you were talking about Cthulhu.
Oh,
Cthulhu,
also
the toddler Cthulhu they had.
Yes, also.
So it's their Death May Die. Their Kickstarter they did a while back. They have a Cthulhu statue.
Miniature. Model? It's a miniature. It's meant for use in a miniatures game.
Yeah, it's a 2 foot tall-ish, 18 inches, 2 foot tall Cthulhu. Yep. They had the pre-production run mini there, but it's basically the game board. There's a special scenario you play, like Cthulhu is awoken and from the slumber, and it's this big, and your miniatures are, that big.
They're miniatures.
And
they're like 28mm scale.
You do your mission on the base, and you have to deal with Cthulhu, or you die.
And you die.
If
you're lucky.
But they have the painted version as well, and it is impressive. Simon also had a bunch of cool stuff. They had some Dark Age stuff.
They did have some new Dark Age stuff.
The name of the faction...
Dragri.
I know it was Dragiri, but it was the name of the units that they released this game. They are fantastic. If you want to kill some time, go to Dark Age's website and just poke around at the model collections, because they are fantastic models.
Yeah.
Painted beautifully.
Brian
at Simon was giving us the tour. It was great.
The game is fun. Yeah. But even if you don't have like any interest in tabletop miniatures games, if you're like an RPG player, this is where to go to find, like, you will find minis that you will not see anywhere else.
Yeah.
If you want like a hero, like someone that stands out and is unique, like the Dark Ages, or the what's the other one they do? It's the not
Wrath of King? No.
Is it? No, it's
Kings
Honor something.
Oh, the samurai
game.
I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. Rising Sun?
It's
Are we talking Simon?
Simon, yeah.
Yeah, that's Rising Sun.
Rising Sun.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to find like some heroic minis that are unique and that you like, that are really like high fantasy minis.
Yeah.
Whether you're looking, and like any part of high fantasy, if you're looking for like barbarians, savage heroes, cool like awesome diplomatic looking heroes, or like go, mages or whatever. If you want to go crazy,
or if you want to go the like post-apocalyptic route too, they've got you covered.
Anyway, a lot of cool stuff.
Cool mini or not, definitely cool mini.
Definitely cool mini.
That was kind of our Friday. We were running around doing that stuff. It was nuts. Saturday, the next day, was like the meat of the show.
Yeah.
We got to hop over and talk to the folks at Gale Force 9.
Speaking of minis.
Got some great info from them. They have a new game coming out. As you know, Waterdeep, the Dragon Heist is coming.
Dragon Heist, Dragon, Water Heist.
Dragons.
Water, Dragon, Deep Heist.
They have a new game coming up, board game, that they were showing off at the show called Vault of Dragons.
Yep.
And it is a tie-in, sort of, to
Waterdeep.
Waterdeep.
It's a direct tie-in.
It's a direct tie-in, yeah.
While in Waterdeep Dragon Heist, you are playing a band of adventurers who are trying to race to capture a vault full of gold dragons, which are the gold coins they use.
It's a play on words, because there's actually a gold dragon, like a literal ancient gold dragon in the vault, but the coinage is also called dragons, and they are gold dragons. So it's a gold dragon in a vault of gold dragons.
We heard you like gold dragons.
Yo, dog.
Anyway.
You get it.
But in the adventure, you're playing heroes trying to stop them from getting that.
But in Vault of Dragons, you are playing the bad guy.
You're playing one of four different bad guys.
And I think they were talking about expansions for more. I can't remember.
Yeah, so there are, well, right now, there's the Xanathar's Guild. Hey, A1, that's the faction I'd go with.
Yeah.
You could also work for second place, but close, is Jarlaxle Bainray's crazy pirate underground king. He's awesome. They have the...
Don't look at me, man. The names are...
No, they have they have the cultists, and then they have the... Dang it. Last one's gone. But you can play as any of the four villains.
Yes. What was cool about the game is it's based, I think, off the Anarchy game they had, Anarchy, where you have gangs and you're trying to fight. First off, you're trying to build up your gang in order to get strong enough, and you get equipment and stuff like that. Do you do stuff around the board? It's a tile-based thing. You do stuff around the board to get resources, to get stronger, eventually get keys and stuff like that, get clues, to find the location, to unlock the location of the vault. And then go in there and take the vault. Now, that does mean your crew will be fighting against a gold dragon, who also have miniatures.
And your rivals.
And your rivals. You have to be dealing with them the whole time, too. What was neat is there's whoever loots the vault basically wins.
Right.
But you have to unlock the vault first. So if you can, if somebody spends all their resources to unlock the vault, another gang can swoop in and take it if they're too weak to fight them off. It's really neat too because the miniatures.
It's the servants of a crazy the crazy red wizard guy who's a bunch of clones. Manshun's random minis. I remembered it, guys. We got all four of them. All four right here. Tabletop hour.
There you go.
Anyway,
the miniatures themselves are pretty small scale.
Yeah.
I think I want to say 6 to 8 millimeter scale.
Yes.
They're small. They'd make awesome gnomes. But aside from that. The detail on the minis is actually pretty cool, and it's a smaller scale, and you get a ton of minis. So because you're recruiting stuff, it looked really cool.
Yeah. Plus since it's meant to like tie in with the game, you'll have a bunch of art and other stuff that's connected to the module that comes out, including a bunch of cool tokens that are like in the shape of the Waterdeep gold dragons. Yep. The coins, not the dragon. Although you also get the gold dragon.
I think there's a pre-order thing going on right now.
Yeah, there's a pre-order thing.
You get the dragon, you get the mini for the dragon as well.
In human form.
In dwarven form.
Yeah.
Go check that out on Gale Force 9's website. But aside from the cool D&D stuff, they also had Star Trek Ascendancy expansions. They announced the Vulcans and the
Andorians.
Andorians, thank you.
Yeah.
The Vulcans are interesting because they can't win by culture. Like most in Star Trek Ascendancy, you can either win military or culture victory. The Vulcans can't win a culture victory apparently,
right?
Because they're already so cultured. They don't need your stupid culture.
They don't care. They're like, whatever, we got it.
Yeah,
but figure it out. But
they have 10 random win conditions they can win the game by, which are one is picked at the start of the game, and only the Vulcan player knows what the win condition
because
is.
who knows what those green-blooded devils are up to?
Nobody knows the way, the mind of the
Space
mind way.
is disease and darkness wrapped
All right,
in...
Bones.
Okay.
But still, it's pretty cool. They have a unique win condition. Essentially, they play differently from other people. The Andorians, however, a little bit more like Ferengi, a little bit more aggressive.
Like if you got a Ferengi and made them more aggressive, you'd be getting close to where the Andorians are. They sound like a lot of fun. Their ships look amazing. Yeah. And are apparently were a pain to make, but look fantastic because they got that like floating disc in the middle of them.
They had some cool stuff out for their Firefly games, Firefly Adventures and stuff like that. Those look really cool. On the miniature side, not only do they have all of their licensed Tomb of Annihilation's miniatures out there, the zombie T-Rex was super cool looking. But they have a bunch of more stuff coming out for Waterdeep as well. And they also, if you are a collector, they have a bust series coming out.
And they're
featuring
kicking it off with everyone's favorite ranger and with a miniature giant space hamster.
Minsk is coming. He's the first one out. And these are fully painted statue busts. So you don't paint them. They come in a box. It's collector series stuff. I think he said Drizzt and Elmeister is coming.
Yeah,
so those three they're going to be the initial run. If they do well, they may produce more fancy character busts. But that was super cool.
So if you're a D&D collector, keep your eye out for those.
After that, we hopped over to FFG, Fantasy Flight Games. They had a monster show.
Oh, they did.
They had a lot to show off. We spent a lot of time with them. They talked Arkham Horror 3rd Edition, the board game.
That is coming out. It's a fresh coat of paint on a new...
No, that was weird. That's later. But no, it's actually a reworking of the board game.
Oh yeah, they made it more streamlined and like more fun to
narratively
play narratively.
So
your choices matter and stuff.
So in the first and second edition of Arkham Horror, you basically have the city of Arkham laid out, and you're an investigator. You're going to different points to do encounters and stuff to try to get clues to close gates using elder signs.
Yep.
It's actually pretty solid. It's been a while. It's been like 10 years.
Yeah.
A little stale, to be honest, at this point. So they've redone it completely. Now the game has these new cool-looking hexagonal tiles that are double-sided. So you can flip them over, change. You can rotate them,
change the way they're aligned.
Yep. And you slot them in, and you kind of redo Arkham how the scenario calls for or whatever.
Well, and they talked about making it easier to like set up and play, too.
Yeah, it's much faster.
Because they've got the benefits of all of their designs for like Eldritch Horror and the one that's in the mansion.
Mansion Madness.
Yeah,
second edition.
But they also have the benefit of like incorporating all of their new Arkham Files universe, right? Like all that stuff gets updated and in there.
There's been a lot of changes over however many years the Arkham House has been out and as a universe, so they've learned a lot from that. It's a really solid board game. They've also changed not just the mechanics of it. You are still investigators. You are still trying to get clues, but they've added a lot of narrative elements to the game to make it more interesting versus just going here, making a check, getting a clue, going here, making a check, getting a clue. There's a lot more narrative stuff driving there. There's the I forgot the name of it. There's a deck that advances, and some of the deck stuff that you flip over is good, and there's a second deck that if you don't complete objectives in time, you flip over and cause bad things to happen because it's Arkham Horror.
It's Arkham Horror. Bad things always happen.
They had that going on. They were showing off L5R demos the whole time.
They were also showing off. Here, let me give you guys a.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
So, one of the things they had was the Star Destroyer, right?
Yeah.
It is about this big.
I mean, it's like, yeah.
It is most of this.
It's like 2 foot. It's a monster.
It is most of this giant like. It is like
you just wanted the bolter. I get it.
Look at how big it is on me. This thing is huge.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Stupid
it's
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, they had the pre-production one there. It basically has a city on top. You know what a Super Star Destroyer is. I don't need to explain it to you.
Yeah, Arvel Krynen flew his A-Wing into the bridge, and then it crashed into the superstructure of the second Death Star.
Yeah, and I kept asking when the Death Star model's coming out, because that would be, that's what I want to play. Right? But they had that for Star Wars Armada. They had, obviously, all of the X-Wing stuff was there. They were selling all of the conversion packs. And then they also announced at the show the First Order conversion pack. and the First Order and the Resistance. Thank you.
Right.
And those guys, and there's also another Scum and Villainy tie, a construction tie, which is a completely new ship.
There's more. Because we're also visiting speaking of Star Wars and Star Wars Legion, we're also going back to the Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars for Star Wars Legionary. Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah. That opens up a lot of possibilities for fighting stuff.
Yeah, well, and you get cool characters. Like, you get the squad, like, from the Clone Wars cartoon that had 5s and all of them in it.
Yeah. This is going to be pretty crazy. On the Star Wars front, ton of stuff there.
They had a lot of
horror. What else? Their big game they announced, like Keyforged. Holy crap!
So this one is kind of cool. Like, we didn't know too much about it going in, but we had a chance to talk.
I got like 5 minutes with the press release before I found out about it.
Yeah.
But it's a deck.
It's a collectible deck game, basically.
But they're not collectible because they're unique, but it is... I don't know.
So,
it's designed by Richard Garfield, first off. The magic guy.
The magic
Everybody
guy.
knows.
He loves lasagna, hates Mondays, hates also net decking and metas, because Keyforge has done... I told you I was going to make that joke at him.
I know.
I said I was going to be the hero we needed.
Yeah. But Keyforged,
So the way Keyforged works is you buy a deck that has been like algorithmically assembled at random from the complete set of cards that's available in the Keyforged line.
There are 7 factions,
right?
And your deck will be 12 cards from 3 different factions, creating a 36 card deck. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's 2 copies of each card or 1 copy of each card. I don't know how that works.
We don't know.
They're all random, so
but you basically have the cards you need to play the cards from 3 of your different houses. Yeah. Combat seems to work really interestingly. Like stunning is a big deal because at the start of your turn you'll like name a house and you'll get to like fight with. You'll basically your whole turn order affects just that house.
There's no mana in the game either. You can just play cards from the house you claim that round. Mechanically, we'll get into it later, but
it seems pretty interesting.
It's a very interesting, well-designed game, obviously, but it is totally shaking up that collectible card game industry because you're not
collecting cards.
You can't. Once you get the deck, on the back of the deck is the printed name of the deck. Like that deck is unique and specific to that deck, like the cards in that deck.
Yeah, like
you can't. I can't have one deck and go, "Hey JR, trade you this card." Like
your deck might be named like the Spiked Fist of Freya or something like that, and that's your deck. Yeah. Like there's a special QR code that you have to scan to register your deck and stuff like that. And it's locked to the cards that are in it, and
They do talk about, like, inevitably because of the way the decks are generated, there are going to be some decks that are just better. Right. Just straight up better than other decks. And they recognize that. These are not, naive game designers here where, every deck will be down. No. There's going to be some imbalances in the game, and that's one of the attractions for some people. But the way they have a handicap system in place to counter that. I don't know all the details of it yet. We were talking to one of the demo guys about it. It sounds like there's a system they call the chain system,
right?
Where if a deck is handicapped, it's going to have X number of chains on it, and the way the chains work is, I think you draw 5 cards at the start of your turn.
Yeah. For
each chain that you have, you draw 1 less card.
So you'll
at the end of your turn, you remove 1 chain. So it slows those high power decks down quite a bit to bring them more in line with some of the lower power decks. I don't know how they're going to do it.
I don't know how well it's going to work, but I mean, it's a really cool idea. And
the decks are going to be $10 a pop too.
Yeah,
so
they're $10. So like you can afford to try it. Even if you're on the ramen and college diet.
Ramen and college diet. It's true.
I mean, but the game, like, we didn't get a chance to like play through everything.
They sold out pretty much quick.
We were flipping through one of the demo decks, and like we could see how
it's
it
very
was
intuitive
meant to fit together. It's super intuitive.
It's very intuitive. Once you sit down and actually like play, it'll click for you real quick. But it's changing that industry. I think Richard Garfield spent years trying to make this game.
Yeah.
But the printing technology just wasn't there yet until recently. So FFG is trying that out. This is going to be a crazy experiment. There's a lot of confusion for folks and it's very divisive about like, what? You can't change that up. Like, what do you mean I can't meta deck?
They can and they did, and you can't.
We'll see what happens.
Won't. So I'm excited. Like I'm looking forward to giving it a try.
I want to spend $10 on it. I want to grab a pack to see what happens because it sounds crazy. But
I mean, it's basically you're buying into a sealed format every time.
Exactly, and when you think about it like that, like if you've ever done a sealed draft,
those are much fun.
A ton of fun. Yeah,
because you're like, I don't know what I'm getting. I'm just gonna have to do the best I can with what I've got.
And that's exactly how this game is presented.
Yeah.
You basically
you're doing a sealed deck.
A sealed deck every time you buy a deck, and you just if it turns out to be an awesome deck, you keep playing it. I can imagine this being a Friday Night Magic competitor.
Oh my god!
In that regard, because
you just show up, you buy a new deck.
You buy a deck for $10 and you play a little 8 draft tournament or whatever.
Super
8C
good.
tournament like that. I could see that being a very
super popular
format.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So yeah, FFG had a great show. A lot of cool stuff going on there. We went over and talked to the folks over at Weird.
Yeah, they had some cool stuff.
They had some really awesome stuff.
These are the ones that have a fresh coat of paint on an already solid house.
They didn't rebuild. They didn't redesign the wheel. They just updated the paint job.
I don't think anything in Weird has wheels. Like looking at everything's got weird legs or tentacles.
Metaphors aside, a couple of things they showed off. First off, Malifaux for 3rd edition was announced.
Oh.
Again, they didn't redesign the game, but they've updated it, streamlined a lot of stuff, cleaned up some stuff. One of the big announcements for that game. First off, you can go check out sign up for their beta and jump in on that. The way the crew buying works now is you can actually buy more masters to your faction. You can have 2 masters running around.
You have to pay for it.
You have to pay for the 2nd and 3rd one or whatever, but
you can have them.
You can have those uber powerful characters and stuff.
What you have hired is cheaper based on what your master is.
Right, it's a faction system too, point by
they've upgraded the characters.
Out of faction costs you an extra point per thing. It sounds really cool.
It sounds really cool. But one of the big things for this is their terrain.
Yes.
This is talk about a game changer.
I think they're called Weirdscapes. Mars, is that what they were calling them? Yeah,
Weirdscapes.
So the Weirdscapes are these new terrain kits coming out. I think they have 3 initially. But they're houses. They're 28 millimeter terrain. But what's cool about them is first off, they're 3 levels.
Right. So
you've got the roof. You can pull the roof off completely and have a flat roof.
Yep.
And then you can pull that part off and have an interior. And these aren't just like, oh, that's a box. No, these are fully furnished.
There's terrain on the inside as well as on the outside, and it's big enough to fit your models in. If you have giant models that might be harder to fit in.
28 millimeter models will fit in there.
When we were looking at it, the first one the first one
I
we
grabbed like a 32 millimeter.
The one that's too big to fit on there.
Right.
But those guys are rare, and you'll be able to get your guys to fight, and they can fight on the flat roof.
They can fight on the flat. What's cool about it is the terrain stacks.
Yeah.
So because of that flat roof, you can pull the roof off, have that flat part, put another building on top. You can have a 3 or 4 story.
You can make a giant tower.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's iconic, right? Okay, this is what the Solarium looks like if I'm buying a Weird kit,
Yeah. What I love about it too is terrain really helps your system feel alive and real, and it pulls folks in. If I go and I say, hey, what does a Games Workshop planet, 40K planet look like? You got to picture in your head the spires, the gothicness of it all.
The bombed out ruins of the spires. And the bombed out ruins of the Sector Mechanicus terrain.
Right. Exactly.
It's everywhere.
But now if I say, hey, what does a city in Weird look like? Oh, boom.
We know now.
We know what it looks like.
And so will you if you check out our website when we write it up.
The other thing too, the final thing they showed off.
The other side.
The other side. They had a playable demo there with full-size units. That game looks like it's going to be crazy fun. The models are essentially wound markers for the unit, so as guys die, you pull them off.
Right.
It still uses a similar card mechanic for determining results, just like in Malifaux. So if you're familiar with Malifaux,
we'll have an in-depth look at that for you because we got a chance to.
We did get a demo of that. But yeah, we've got some crazy awesome stuff.
So does Paizo, Pathfinder, Starfighter.
Oh man. We talked to a lot more people than this, but
yes.
Paizo, let's talk Paizo real fast.
Let's talk Paizo. So Paizo's big thing is Pathfinder 2nd Edition. For the first time in a decade, they are updating Pathfinder.
Yes.
They are playtesting it now, and it'll launch, like, officially, 2nd edition will be out next year at Next Gen Con.
Next Gen. So real fast on that, you can get the playtest demo from their website.
Yeah.
You can download a copy.
Pathfinderplaytest.com.
You can download a copy and play it yourself. You can buy a loose leaf copy if you want.
You can buy a hardback copy.
You can buy a hardback. Yeah. They have a scenario pack that you can purchase or download or whatever. If you want printed copies, you can buy them, but.
And they're also like introducing a whole bunch of new scenarios to playtest this. They're going to be releasing one every couple of weeks.
Yeah, and they want fan feedback. They want you to go in there.
A 7-part series of adventures.
What do I do with my hands?
I don't know.
But they have they want fan feedback. That was the big thing. We got to speak with Eric Mona, the Paizo president, owner guy. He's
Developer.
awesome.
He was a great guy.
Yeah. And he's like, look, I work with some of the smartest people I've ever met in my life, but there's only a handful of them, and this is giving it to the community of thousands. They're going to find holes that we didn't think about. They're going to be looking at things in different ways. They want your feedback. They want you to not just read it and give them feedback. They want you to read it and play it and give them feedback. Yes, read it, give them feedback. That's fine.
Sure, but
play testing requires play.
Yeah, and so that's where the 7 different modules come in, because they're going to be. It's like a mini adventure path meant to take you from the end of 1st edition to the beginning of 2nd edition, and there's like cataclysmic stuff that happens.
Yeah. If you want, if you don't have time to run 7 adventures, because maybe within the time frame,
who's got time?
Who's got time for games?
They did recommend.
There's 3 adventures, and I don't remember the ones off the top of my head.
1, 4, and 7.
JR does. If you just have time to run 3, run 1, 4, and 7 because you'll the same characters.
Story.
You'll get the whole story. You'll get to play the same set of characters, just at different levels, different points in their adventuring career.
Experience their arc, which is also the arc of 2nd edition beginning.
Yeah, which is super cool.
And then also there's some cool Starfinder stuff coming out. Right now you can get the Starfinder Armory, which is amazing. But soon you'll be able to get the Alien Archive 2, which has new species. And also, starting like soonish, end of the month at the latest, they're doing an experiment for Starfinder where they're releasing 2 different 3-volume adventure paths, which kind of showcase 2 wildly different areas of Starfinder. There's Against the Aeon Throne, which is kind of more steeped in the traditions of Galarian. In Starfinder, Galarion's gone missing, and so now you're dealing with like the ancient empire kind of coming back to reclaim everything, which is the Aslants,
which are from Pathfinder, but that's a whole other.
Then you have like the cosmic horror one, which is Signal of Screams, which, hey, I liked Event Horizon.
Yeah.
And that's all we'll tell you about that.
Pretty close. October's coming around.
But so you'll get a chance to do 3 and 3, and then they're going back to another 6 episode adventure path, and you can kind of like tell them what you think, what's working.
We asked as well, are they going to put a compilation out for these for folks that maybe don't get to the adventure packs all at once? Or in the series, and they didn't say no, but they didn't confirm it either. So but Eric said it wasn't out of the realm of possibilities, but he's like, don't know yet. We also help a bunch of our other buddies around. I gotta say, there was one game at the show that really did impress me, just because it came out of nowhere. I didn't hear about it.
At out of nowhere. Yeah.
IDW Games had, I think it's called Death Note Confrontation.
Yeah.
Now, I am not a Death Note fan. I didn't watch the anime or read the manga.
But this game, man.
Yeah, so how it works is, I do know about Death Note.
Right.
Death Note.
You can't not know about Death Note.
You're right. It's about a kid. He's got a book. He writes people's names in it. They die. It's a demon, whatever. Look, the whole point of the series, though, is it's about Kira, the killer.
This teenage prodigy who goes around trying to kill criminals.
To
remove cure
crime.
The world of crime.
Right. And there's a detective who is trying to figure out who Kira is. And this game is a 2-player asymmetrical game of deduction and bluffing. And when we got the rundown of how this game works, it looks super simple and like, wait, that's it. But I hadn't seen anything else at the show. I haven't ever seen a game like this.
No,
and I've seen a lot of games in my time. And
we'll kind of be taking you through it, but the game is played in 2 notebooks. So Elle gets one and Kira gets one.
Yeah, Elle's the investigator.
And so the investigator kind of the Kira, who's got the Death Note, basically kills criminals.
Right.
And then has like limits on what they can do based on where they are, and L has a list of suspects. And
but it has this crazy grid thing too that you use, and L is trying to. There's the game plays in two parts. The first part is you flip a card over and you try to kill one. Kira can choose which one to kill,
and L can choose where to try and be to stop them.
Yeah. And if Kira succeeds, Kira gets the points. If L succeeds, L gets a clue as to who Kira is, a suspect card. And then it goes to the nightly news phase where you pick 3 locations and you can kind of see Kira can try to kill one of them too. It sounds like, what are you talking about here? Once you see the board and you see kind of how the game works,
it's really cool. So you are playing the same game, but what you're playing, like asymmetrical, is absolutely true because it's like you're playing 2 different games while you're playing the same game, and it makes sense. Like the mechanics make sense for each of the different characters. This game, like we just sort of saw it and in 5 minutes fell in love with it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of games. This is my 5th Gen Con, I think.
Yeah.
Board games, tabletop games. There was nothing like this on the show. If you don't know what it is, go to IDW Games, look for Death Note Confrontation. If you want a 2-player game that is going to be like chess mind
games,
style game. I just was blown away by it, and I mean, we saw a ton of other stuff too.
Well,
but...
and it was cool because it was a nice contrast because it's a very small game in a year of big releases.
Yeah.
But speaking of big releases,
let
me go get the man himself.
Oh, yeah, this is the part of the show where we swap hosts to talk about the next part. But overall, again, just real fast with JR's gone. If you have not been to a Gen Con, I highly recommend going, even through fighting the lines and everything like that. Gen Con 2018 was nuts. You see such a cool community around it.
Absolutely.
We got to hang out with some other stuff and do some stuff outside the con too.
We did.
We did get to go to see Crit Roll Live, which was a blast.
That was a ton of fun. And it again kind of amplified and shows off like it's the community, right? You want to play a part of.
Yeah.
You want to be a part of something, right? No matter where you are, you can't play these games by yourself. I guess you can. But it's
Death Note Confrontation would be really boring with one player.
More fun with friends, right?
It is.
Like you want to have people that you can enjoy this stuff with. And
it was just really cool. I can't even list off all the stuff we saw. The Steam Forge guys were there. They were super cool.
Yep.
Man, they had a crazy Horizon Zero Dawn miniatures coming out, which I don't even know what that was for, but it looked amazing.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn was the PS4 game where you are hunting robot dinosaurs, and we saw those minis.
AEG, by the way, they have a ton of awesome board games and card games. They showed off a new one where you, I forgot the name of it, the Space Smuggler game.
Oh, it's like Scorpius Freighter or something like that.
Yeah, but you play as a smuggler on different freighters, and that game looks like a ton of fun. They were showing off a pre-production version of it. There wasn't final production.
Yeah, over at Plaid Hat Games.
We popped over. That was AEG. Then there was Plaid Hat Games. Plaid Hat Games at Gen 7. What was it?
Yeah, that was
Gen 7.
That's their colony ship game.
Yeah, that one looked crazy. You play as the 7th generation of a space colony. There's 13 generations, and you're heading to a destination. Gen 7 wakes up. Something is amiss on the ship. Maybe it's a murder mystery. Maybe it's a engine failure. But it's crazy. That was crazy. Like a lot of fun. We popped over to the Kingdom Death booth. They had some crazy new models because it's Kingdom Death, of course they did. Steve Jackson has a Munchkin 40K game. What the crap?
Yeah, that's coming out. That's happening.
Apparently, it's going to be nuts. I'm excited about that. Yellow Games was there as well.
Yeah,
they have a bunch of cool stuff coming out. They're a little behind in a couple releases, but they had a freaking packed booth the entire time.
Everything there looks amazing.
Yeah.
We got to see
USAopoly as well.
Yeah,
they have a new Harry Potter game coming out.
They've got a Samurai Jack game coming out.
That game looks so rad.
That looks amazing. I don't know if you guys have been watching the new Samurai Jack. I have. It's cool.
Yeah.
Good old Scaramouche.
Yeah. Oh man!
We talk about how Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay.
Oh man, yeah, they're redoing some first edition stuff.
Yeah, so they're redoing some of their first edition adventures with the new system, which is cool. That we talked to one of the original writers.
Yeah, so again, they're taking the new system and redoing their old adventures to bring them back, and it's gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Wrath and Glory, they were there. They were running Ulysses. I mean, for Wrath and Glory, the RPG, Ross was there.
Yep.
Hi, Ross. Sorry we missed you because he was in the hall apparently running games all day.
The whole time.
Delta Green.
Delta Green.
Holy crap.
That was a fun RPG.
They won 6 awards.
6 different Ennies for their crazy government Cthulhu conspiracy game. We featured Delta Green.
Yeah.
We played it on stream, I think twice.
Yeah, if you're looking for a modern take on the Cthulhu mythos, I think Delta Green's got it locked down pretty well. It's
Absolutely.
really cool. They again won 6 different awards. One of them I think was like best RPG or something like that. But
Absolutely.
I forget. We've got an article up about the best.
We do about the Ennie award winners. But speaking of award winners, no one is more of a winner than Larry.
Yeah, Larry, come on down.
Come on down.
I'm coming.
What? He's running over there.
He's running over there.
Uh-oh, knocking stuff over.
Oh, I
He's breaking
see.
stuff.
Yep.
He's breaking
Oh, that's
everything,
why.
guys.
It was
There
worth
we
it.
go.
It was worth it. We got the brand new board game
We
here.
got the brand new board game. We got what everybody wants, Adeptus Titanicus.
Brand new. Wait, that's not
This
new.
is from 1989.
That's your copy.
It is.
Yes.
Okay, this is not what's coming out this weekend.
Are you sure? I heard
Yes.
that Adeptus Titanicus.
Well, this one isn't. This one is already in. It's already in our studio.
Yeah.
Right here. But this game has spawned a child.
It has.
Adeptus Titanicus. Well, it's not called second edition. It's just Adeptus. Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone who played the first one is dead. Okay, maybe not.
No.
It's
I
been a
hope
long.
that's-
It's been a long
it's
time.
true.
It's been a long time.
But
But
let's
an
talk.
all-new version of Adeptus Titanicus.
Let's talk about it. What we know.
It's going to be coming out. It's been
They have-
announced. It is. People have been waiting for this for
Years.
It has been in development for 2.5 years. This game. Let me see. What's the copyright on this box say? This box says
89.
1988.
88.
30 years old.
Wow.
30 years old. And
It's
the
drinking age.
the original one.
Yeah.
The original one.
Stuff is rattling around in the
Yeah,
game.
you don't want me to open this box because it's bad. It's like all 80s.
Super 80s.
Who knows what kind of...
I don't know.
There's going to be like beta tapes are in there. And
They look. We did go by the GW booth at Gen Con.
Yes.
They were
And-
showing off Kill Team, which was a big thing, and they were selling a whole lot of stuff
and Adeptus Titanicus was
in the case.
in the display case. You
and I
could
was
see
like,
it,
I see it. Let me play it.
but it was not being demoed.
Yeah.
But
That's okay, GW.
But it is going to be out this weekend, and in a bunch of different flavors. So the original one from the 80s, right here, it had a bunch of buildings. These are actually foam. It had a bunch of foam buildings, and it had 6 Warlord Titans with a bunch of different weapons, and it is just 100% Titan-on-Titan combat.
Titans.
There was no infantry, there was no vehicles, there was no nothing.
And then it spawned another
And that's
game.
all the game was.
Yeah.
Back then, and later it spawned to Epic and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So it's coming. The new one is coming this weekend.
Yes.
And there's an entire big set of launch products that are going to be coming with it. And Andy Hoare gave the primary designer on it, kind of the project manager for it, gave a big talk last week. So we got to learn all kinds of more stuff about it. So everyone,
I'm excited.
I'm excited. We're going to see what's going on when the weekend hits. It goes on pre-order, and then everyone's going to be talking about it. It's going to be all crazy.
Yeah.
But we know so far a bunch of different launch products. The big one is that kind of the closest equivalent to this thing
The Grandmaster.
is the
right?
Grandmaster Edition, which is a big box, probably almost exactly the same size as this. I assume it's in the. It looks like
It's gonna be way bigger. With
it's
like,
the
way
same
more
size
stuff.
as like the Kill Team box. It's that standard big.
It's like
big
this
GW.
Yeah.
It's this but thicker.
Yeah.
And the Grandmaster Edition is like the big super limited edition bundle, and that comes with
2 Warlord Titans.
2
and
Warlord
6 Knights.
and 6 knights and a bunch of buildings.
Bunch of
A
buildings.
ton of buildings.
You need the building. We saw the buildings at the con.
And
They
they're
look really
pretty
cool.
big, right?
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
They had a couple of the Warlords out. The Warlord is about the size of a Redemptor. Not Redemptor. What's it called?
Oh, I don't have one.
He's over here
It's
somewhere.
behind
Ah,
Adam's head.
There he is.
This one. This dread.
It's probably slightly bigger than that.
Little.
Well, it's taller.
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
about the same.
bulk.
Yeah. So, I'm scared it's gonna fall. So
Right.
But it's about that size. One
Slightly
Warlord,
taller.
a little taller, maybe a little bit.
Probably,
thinner, but-
I've basically the same rough volume, the same like volume as say a Dread Knight.
Yeah.
Like bigger than a Dreadnought,
No,
smaller
no.
than a Knight.
No, it's pretty close to
Okay.
that. So,
So 2 of those,
Yeah.
which is the big kit. That's the Warlord.
and then again, 32 mil base Knights will be running around, which
Yeah, and the Knights look so cool because
Yeah.
you're going to be able to have like I mean, we all know that, yes, we love to play war games, but really we love to have toys from our war games on our desks while we pretend to work.
I
at
totally
the
want Warlord on my desk.
Yeah, I want a bunch of little knights that I'm going to put all over my desk.
Gameplay-wise, while they didn't show it off, again, Andy talked about it in the video. There's one out on the Warhammer community site right now that you can watch. Talks gameplay. Again, this is going to be a callback to a previous era of gaming. There's a lot of callbacks to old style of rules. They said it was very crunchy. So if you were missing that crunch from Games Workshop, and that's number crunchy for folks who don't know what that term means.
That means it's going to be a detailed, fiddly game with lots of complexity, which is fine because when you're playing Adeptus Titanicus, you're going to have like 6 to 9 models aside. And if you have a lot of models, they're probably knights. Like if you have Titans,
if you have if you've run in Titans,
you can have like 1 through 4 Titans. Probably.
And having the command console keep track of everything for you helps out with that crunch. But it's great because you have that visual reminder there of what's going on. You're going to be managing your system, so there's a little bit of resource management going on there too. You can flood your plasma weapons from your plasma core and have it go crazy for like a round or two, but you might blow up. And that's okay too, because that's part of the game, and it's just that fiddliness of it is very interesting too.
And the designers over the past couple years have been talking about a lot of the stuff that they're going to put in this game. First of all, the original Adeptus Titanicus, this was the first game that was ever designed by Jervis Johnson. When he was a young lad.
30 years ago.
30 years ago. And,
we were all young lads
and
back then.
Adeptus Titanicus was very, very complicated. Like we have the rule book is in here, and it had just tables and tables and tables for all kinds of. This is actually the game that invented the Horus Heresy. The Horus Heresy came from Adeptus Titanicus. Horus is first mentioned in here, and it had all kinds of crazy. And it sounds like they have definitely kept a lot of that detail and pulled it into the new one. So you have your big data card. So like as an example, like a really simplistic game has things like say your normal units in 40K. Like you know, this is a guy and he has stats and he stays exactly the same way,
keywords or whatever,
until he's dead. And when he's dead, you just take him off the table. And then at the next complicated level is things like the way vehicles work in 40K. Where you have tiers of damage. So, you know, you start off like this, and once you take so much damage, and some of your stats, you know, kind of the HeroClix model. Where
you kind of get weaker.
Units degrade as they take damage, and then in Adeptus Titanicus, for the Titans, they're definitely going hog wild on that, because this is not only that, but it's a resource management within your unit. So they've talked about things like, you have your big damage card per Titan, and you're going to have all these little, actually, they showed off the sprue. So,
they showed off
the game has a sprue of just gameplay accessories, like not the miniatures, but like the little
dials and
little dials and pegs that you put on your management card, and you're tracking. So you're doing things like, how fast am I going? How am I going to attempt to
repair your shields or overcharge weapons?
Exactly. It's one of those like reactor management is a big thing in this game. It actually reminds me a lot of BattleTech. It's that concept of like heat in BattleTech, where you have your reactor and you can do all your normal stuff every turn and you'll be safe.
But if you try to overcharge, and you're gonna have to do overcharge stuff if you want to win, because
your opponent's gonna do it.
If you're both just running even the whole time, you're not going to get that edge that you need to actually do any damage. And just like in BattleTech, there are ways to vent your plasma, and then as you take damage, those ways go away, and you can repair stuff. Weapons can get disabled. You have a Adeptus Mechanicus crew inside this Titan, and they're trying to tighten the bolts down. Repair stuff as gameplay goes on. So
it's going to be one of those you're going to want to be aggressive to win the game, but if you're overly aggressive, you could blow yourself up.
Plasma's dangerous, turns out.
And there's going to be, there'll never be enough energy to do everything you want. You want to move faster? Do you want to repair your void shields? Do you want to overcharge your weapons?
I think
all kinds of cool stuff.
I think that
sounds awesome.
A lot of the turns are going to come down to, I need to do 3 things this turn, but I can only pick 2.
I can do 1 safely.
I can do 1 safely, but but I need to do 3, and I can only have the resources for 2 unless I go crazy. And I'm excited about this game again, just from the resource management perspective. And then, who doesn't want to play with Titans on the tabletop?
Exactly. I mean, yes, we all know that there's the people out there who have I have 3 Warlord Titans for 40K scale, and they're on my desk, and I'm awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
But that's not most people. But everyone can have.
Everyone can
have
have
these
one
Warlord Titans on their desks.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited. Also, we play a visual game.
Yeah.
We're not playing on a hex board with cardboard chits. We play with miniatures and stuff. And one of the things Adeptus Titanicus is going to do is it's going to bring a whole generation back to the amazing visual spectacle that Epic is. That old Epic used to be. Because, let me tell you, if you've never seen it before, when you get a 4x4 table and you lay out all your terrain and you build a city and you have Titans cruising through buildings and you have Warhounds hiding behind things.
People will want to watch.
People are going to... that game is going to look crazy. I mean, people always say, well, you know, do like jets and things really belong in 40K? It seems weird. In Epic, they look awesome. You know, so you know, seeing the Titans and all the 4 or 5-story buildings,
I
it's
hope
going to be great.
I hope this game is like their biggest seller. Selfishly, because I want more stuff for this game. Because at launch, we basically have the Titans, the Warlords, and the Knights.
Correct. You're going to get the Grandmaster Edition. So there's the big super...
I'm just talking product, really, like product-wise.
Then there's the Rules-Only Edition. Then there's the Warlord. Then there's a set of the 3 Knights.
3 Knights and a Warlord.
And then there's 2 different terrain kits, which is the same thing. It's just a little bit of terrain or a big bunch of terrain.
And we do know that there are Reavers and Warhounds
absolutely
on the way. But if you think about it, for a grand strategy game like this, I mean, or not a grand strategy game, but like a game like this, that's a handful of models for every single army. And the 40K universe is big. They could totally add, you know, other factions in there and spin those in the game too, and come up with similar rules. Because, for instance, like an Eldar Titan, I don't see a reason why they can't have, you know. Eldar Phantom Titans running around with Wraith Knights.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, they could still have command consoles. They can still have resources to manage and all that stuff. Tyranids, bioenergy. Orcs with
Gargants.
Great
Gargants.
And Stampas rolling around. Oh my gosh.
It's going to be insane.
You can't tell me that's not cool sounding.
So Andy Horse said that the Adeptus Titanicus is set in the Horus Heresy. For now.
Right.
For now. And that they want to set it in the Horus Heresy because they understand, because the Horus Heresy basically gives them a very rich universe to mine, and that we should expect expansions for the game to cover famous events or campaigns from the Horus Heresy. So we're going to start with this default one, and then there'll be, you know, some campaign you've never heard of, and that'll be a box, and they'll probably introduce new Titans.
And that's
and there'll be new types of Knights.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, he specifically said, leading up to the Siege of Terra, and then if the game is going well and it's healthy, they could easily take it past that. And once they take it past that into like the Beast Arises Wars or the Scouring, and that's when they can bring in other races.
Yeah, and again, that's why selfishly I want this game to do super well, because at that scale the models look fun.
Oh yeah,
you can just put them on the tabletop.
Think about all those crazy. There's all those different types of knights that Forge makes. Those would make a great, you know, now there's like 4 or 5 different types of knights that you can buy. Yeah,
and again, because it's set in the Horus Heresy, you've got the Traitor Legions. I think this was actually a really smart move.
Because they only have to make the one line.
You only make the one line
and then
of
you
stuff
paint them however you want
split between Chaos and Loyalists. Or Traitor and Loyalists, not even Chaos at that point. But eventually, maybe they will have like a Chaos upgrade sprue where you have Chaos bits and spikes.
Yeah, for like later in the Heresy when the Titans are starting to get mutated
come
and
on,
stuff.
Man.
Because that's what they did in the original Epic.
Right.
They started off with them the same, and they later made a bunch of accessory bits where like the Slaanesh Titans had tails, and the Tzeentch ones had like the bird heads.
Yeah,
they're all crazy looking.
You've got their mainstays, 40K, you know, Age of Sigmar. You've got their other stuff they've been working on, the other specialist games, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, all that fun stuff. You've got Kill Team now for the small scale 40K stuff. Adeptus Titanicus, I think, could be another line for them that could be really, really successwell.
Yep.
I just want it to be accessible.
Yeah.
In terms of like, the Grandmaster box is awesome. I don't know why it's going to be limited though.
I mean, they said
limited.
What they said by limited is what limited means to Games Workshop is that they do a press run, and then when it's out, it doesn't come back for a while until they do a second one. So it basically means it doesn't automatically refill. So like as an example, you guys remember how like every now and then I'm looking over here at our giant library of Games Workshop games. Like every now and then, like for Christmas, they would reissue like Deathwatch Overkill. You could get it again, or the Assassin board game. It's going to be like that. So like once a year there might be like, or like every now and then they reissue Space Hulk. Like that.
Right.
So basically, it will come back, but basically...
But they're going to have boxes in stores, right?
Correct.
So you can still go to
You can buy everything a la carte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad.
Yeah, the Grandmaster Edition is just going to be same thing. It's a bundle deal. It'll save you money.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, I want that for everything.
Yes. So if you are interested, it sounds awesome. It sounds very much like this is going to be there. So I mean, everything we've seen from both Age of Sigmar and 8th Edition is the game's getting streamlined, it's getting faster because there's more miniatures on the table. And I think Adeptus Titanicus is them saying, hey, for you guys, here's something different. Here's a game.
This is a 180 to that.
Exactly.
Philosophy,
Here's a game with, it's going to look gorgeous. The models are going to be amazing. The scale is, something that hasn't been seen literally in 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's going to be complicated, and we want it to be complicated.
Yeah, the game's
which to me sounds,
it's that throwback, back to that era. They want the game to be complicated. Small model count is okay when you have a lot of complexity.
Exactly.
And
right.
I think it makes each model count more. There's more character per model, and because your army is only going to be a handful of Titans and some Knights probably, at least to start for sure. You can really spend some time hobbying it up, I feel like, and customizing stuff.
And it feels like this is going to be a very cinematic game. It has a lot of. It specifically has a lot of. Andy was talking in the interview about how there's going to be a lot of drama in this game.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of the big Titans are if they can, if a warlord catches you out in the open, you're dead. If you're small, but they're like big zeppelins. They're moving. They're turning so slow.
Yeah.
If you can get your knights are playing cat and mouse and your warhounds, and if you can get in behind one and just light him up at point blank range, he's
gonna be hurting.
He's going to be hurting, and so it's going to be a lot of that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to like overcharge everything and try to turn around as fast as I can because I'm being outflanked by warhounds, and all that kind of cool.
Oh, I can't wait.
Drama. It's going to be. We are super excited. We are going to have way more to talk about this.
Busting out the Adeptus Titanicus box
next week.
Yes,
but for now, enjoy 1988
retro.
Oh
man, I can't wait. I just want to get. Do you have like a Titan, like a loadout that you want to do? I want to do all of them. But
the classic loadout from the old days is 2 missile launchers up top, and then 2 volcano cannons on the bottom.
Yeah,
that's just the like. That's like the shake and
That's
bake.
the go. That's the go-to. Yeah, go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
the Titans, the Knights are really interesting. The Knights look just like they look so. They
shrunk it. They shot it with a shrink ray,
and they have the sprue. So they didn't show. They briefly showed them the Knight sprue. The Knight sprue has 3 Knights on like a normal GW frame. There's 3 Knights on it, and you get 3 Reaper chainswords. And then you get 1 each of all the other weapons. So you get a Gatling, and you get the autocannon, and and the Melta. So you get all of the Titan weapons.
The thermal lance and all that stuff. Yeah. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this game. I want to get my box set. I want to build a faction. Are we gonna paint the Knights like the Studio Army Knights that we had, so we can be like, little scale, big scale? Or are we gonna?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because you know what the grand dream is, right? Every gamer out there wants to do the grand fantasy of like, I have my kill team, and then when my kill team gets into a big battle, we play 40k, and then when that gets too big, we play Adeptus Titanicus.
Yes.
And you track it all and do all your crazy stuff.
JR and I we talked about that at Gen Con a lot. What if we did a campaign where we started with a kill team game?
So it's gonna happen.
And it would be really cool to have like the Knight painted this small that match the Knights that are painted, that are this big. I can't wait. I think that's going to be just too much fun.
Are you going to keep a Warlord on your desk?
Yeah.
Are you doing Traitor or Loyalist?
I don't know yet. I want to get a hold of the book because there's color plates in there.
That's what I'm looking for.
I want to see visually like what Knight House calls to me. And I mean we have the Knight book already for the 40k one. So I want
like the heraldry of like all the Titan legions. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh yeah.
Super excited.
By the way, if you're looking for Titan Legions, check out the Lexicanum because we have a full list.
Because there's a gazillion
of them.
Over on Lexicanum.
Yeah, we have all of those there. So, Titanicus came out. I'm exhausted from the weekend. I think I'm running on adrenaline, and it's finally like
you need some coffee.
I need caffeine shots. I need some sleep, really. But it was so much fun, Gen Con. We missed you this year, by the way. Everybody was
okay.
Is Larry here? And I was like, no, it was his birthday.
Next year.
Yeah.
Don't put Gen Con on my birthday.
Yeah.
It's Gen Con. I mean,
sorry.
Come on.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I
know. I'm not blaming you.
But he was like, it's his birthday. So he was like, no, it's my birthday. You go to Gen Con. So it was like a birthday gift from him to me, but it was his. I don't know.
It was weird. It was all good.
It was fun, though. We missed you.
Going back next year.
He's going back next year, folks. You heard it here first.
Indianapolis or bust.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. I mean, you've gone a couple times.
I've gone many times.
And it's a blast.
It's crazy.
Time. Yeah.
Every time.
And, man, I just we have so much video footage to go through that I'm
dreading
it.
We are going to have demos, news, pictures. BoLS is going to be. We're going to have Gen Con stuff for weeks.
Yeah.
So we talked to everyone.
There were so
in the
many
industry.
new games.
We had. Yeah, they said it was like.
Ugh.
Just in board games, there was 600 products released at Gen Con.
Yeah.
Just board games.
We're going to try to cover as many as we can. We're not going to
cover 600.
We're not covering 600, but we're going to try to cover a good chunk of them from some of the ones that we visited, or all the ones that we visited, because there's too many for 2 men to cover.
Yes.
So, we were overwhelmed. There's too many of them. There's too many of them. And then of course this came out too to throw a wrench in those plans.
Yep. So once again, check back with us on Saturday. We're gonna have all kinds of cool stuff to talk to you about, and next week. And thanks for watching, guys. And we will catch you guys next week. And there's going to be all kinds of. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of Titanicus. There's already Titanicus coverage on BoLS. Just stop in, check out the articles.
Release the Titans on Saturday.
On Saturday, like this Saturday, not like a future Saturday.
Yeah,
like this Saturday.
It's a clash of Titans. Can we say that now? Can we say it's clash? Is it
like
when
a
two
Titan against a Titan?
When 2 Titans
like
fight,
that.
is it a clash? Is that
Yes,
what that's
it's
officially called?
It's officially a clash.
There you go. Yep. Use some stop motion animation.
Signing out, everybody.
See you next time.
See you next week.
Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.